Hi there, this is Crypto Ice. Just to tell you a little bit about my background, I'm a licensed clinical social worker, and I've been working with troubled teens for like 16 years. It's one of the most fulfilling things that I've ever done. And so, how I apply that to the crypto space, I think we all have a unique background that helps us in our investments, right? I got into the space in July of 2018. But to tell my story, it really started in 2008, the crash of 2008. I was one of the unfortunate ones that was just doing what everyone else was, going to college, getting that first house right before the crash. And I was blindsided, really. And kind of left wondering, like, what could I have done to have, prevented this and know about it? And that kind of leads into my crypto story because in 2018, I really worked to get my house equity back. I refinanced, I got a second job, I held onto my house till I got it back. Then I was going house hunting, and being a licensed clinical social worker, I don't make a ton of money, and I was looking at the houses available to me, and it just was not. I mean, in this all-time high real estate market, it was just not anything that I was impressed with. And so I was literally just, kind of praying, like, what other options are there? If I don't have to buy a house, what other options are there? And literally within 2 weeks, I had a friend come and talk to me about cryptocurrency. First, I was just going to put in a couple grand because it seemed like he'd made some money, and after I studied it, I was just completely sold on the future of cryptocurrency. And you've noted since July of 2018 is a much different field than what it is today. In 2019, you remember when the government, people like Steve Mnuchin from the Treasury started come out and talking about cryptocurrencies, and we had government players starting to talk about it. And, the latest with the OCC coming out with the bank announcement, like I've had 5 people this week reach out to me to get signed up with cryptos, because I've been trying to start a social movement here, because my opinion is that not only are we living in a crisis situation, which equals opportunities and danger, right? That's the definition of crisis. Unbelievable opportunities in cryptocurrency, right? We've been in a bear market. These prices are just unbelievable, in my opinion. But we've also the Fed artificially propping up the stock market at all costs, printing money like it's going out of style. 30 million people plus out of jobs. I kind of see a colliding of two things. We see, a real concern for this community in the world in general of, like, are we going to see, the economy tank at some point? So you see crypto taking off and the general economy tanking really kind of gave me a sense of urgency to be a YouTuber. I mean, that really what it was is I was talking with my friends, I was talking with my family, I was talking with everyone, and eventually I'm like, I might as well just start doing the YouTube videos and just being a voice of warning, really. I did a challenge recently, and $200 XRP can get you at 20 cents could get you 1,000 XRP, right? And I was saying that I believe personally that it could get to 1,000 one day. I know some people think that's crazy. I think it's possible. And I just wanted everyone to get skin in the game, even if it's $100, $200, whatever it is. So that's a little bit about my story, really, because that's why I'm here as a YouTuber. I haven't done anything like this before. And it's exciting to see people starting to wake up to this. People are starting to reach out to me that I've been talking to for a year, and they're finally like, what? The banks can maybe hold this in the future. So just to give you a little more background on me, like I not only have been a licensed clinical social worker for 16 years and work with troubled teens with abuse and do a lot of attachment work. And so such a satisfying job. And to me, that's going to be so critical, right? Like once this market takes off, and if we make the kind of money we think we're going to, what kind of meaning are we going to have after we make the money, right? I'm hoping to bring some good to the world as far as kids that are abused and things like that. So that's my passion, that's my drive. And just a couple more things about me. Like there was a real shift, a paradigm shift in 2018. About the time I got into cryptocurrency, I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad for the first time, right? I learned about assets and liabilities. Assets is cash flow coming to you every month, right? Liabilities is when money's going out every month. And I started looking at my life, and I'm like, I'm a saver. I've been keeping money in my bank account for a decade, and it's just been rotting with inflation, right? And so I made a 180-degree turn, and I'm like, no more. I'm putting this money to use. No longer am I going to let it just depreciate over time. I'm going to beat the Fed at the Fed's game, basically. If they are going to deflate the dollar and make it less and less valuable, I'm going to beat them at their game by getting out of cash and getting into hard assets. And whether that be cryptocurrency, which, is a lot of it for me. So I'm looking at this as a small business, really. And to be quite honest, I'm taking less risk than the average small business owner. And the upside in crypto is so much greater than anything I can think of currently. Yet, so I'm like, I'm all in. I'm in on being a small business owner in crypto. And with everything that we have seen, we've seen governments get involved. We've seen Fidelity, TD, Ameritrade. We've seen NASDAQ. I mean, we see all these traditional players. We've seen JP Morgan do a 180-degree turn. Bitcoin is a fraud to now they're employing, banking services to cryptocurrency companies like Coinbase and Gemini. I mean, now we're seeing Goldman Sachs, same thing. They wouldn't touch it. It's such a volatile market. It's not an asset class, and now they want their own coin. So we're seeing it's not what they say, it's what they do that matters. I've seen enough to know that this market is here to stay. And so that's why I feel confident personally, just kind of simplifying my life, really. It's all about the purchasing power of the dollar to me. If I can simplify my life, and instead of buying another house, which I couldn't buy pretty much any house right now that I wanted, I'm like, why not invest in other things like cryptocurrency where the upside is so much greater, in my opinion, and maybe I'll have some housing opportunities down the road. So that's kind of my thinking. And if you think about my channel, I know there's so many YouTubers, XRP YouTubers out there. I'm like, I have to bring something different. What I feel like I bring different is my clinical experience as a mental health professional. I really focus on investment strategies, whether it be how I apply Warren Buffett strategies, how do I apply Robert Kiyosaki strategies, how do I apply some of the great minds of our time, right? I really want to focus on the fundamentals of that and how can I have a solid investment plan. So grateful to be part of the XRP community, and hope that this was interesting to you to find out a little bit more. Thank you. All right, thanks.